What is happening? Welcome back to the Past Alive. Thank you all for tuning in tonight for the return of Turn Back the Clock Tuesday. And tonight we are revisiting a product that I've opened quite a few years back. It is 1993 Pinnacle, and we are chasing after Derek Jeter's rookie card inside of here, and also looking out for some other insert cards. Now, Jeter stuff kind of came down after the popularity kind of wore out over the last few years. At one point, these boxes were roughly about almost 250 bucks. And now they're kind of sitting around $100. I've seen some sell for even less than that, which is pretty wild. But Jeter, you could buy his rookie card for about $20 roughly at any card show or card shop if you can find it. But I figured I picked these up from a subscriber, Bronson, and I grabbed this and the 93 Classic together. So it's kind of like a Jeter a week, but it's one I have not revisited for quite a while. So I figured we might as well take a stab at pulling Jeter's rookie yet again tonight. So 36 packs inside of here, 15 cards per pack. We have John Kruk on the box top here. The rookie team Pinnacle have some pretty nice, I'm not going to say rookie cards, but rookie prospects early on in their career, like Pedro Martinez, Mike Piazza. So without further ado, let's savagely swashbuckle our way through 93 Pinnacle. And I just noticed that I left everyone's index cards in the other room, which should not surprise anybody here whatsoever. So let me grab those real quick, and while I'm doing that, gaze into the eyes of Rafael Palmeiro. And hopefully you guys all got done checking out the new mail day video I posted a little bit ago. Pretty freaking epic, to say the least. And I guess how we're going to do this is we got 4 participants here. And as you can see, the Sharpie's kind of bleeding through. So in order to avoid people calling fix, we're going to use the big head of Rafael Palmeiro and shuffle these up behind. These are from the Heads Up release. I actually saw a case of these for sale on eBay recently, and I was so tempted to buy it. I don't know why, but you don't see sealed cases of those too often. And I think it was like, I don't know, it was like 10 bucks plus $100 shipping. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of wild. I don't know if I want to pay that. So the first stack, the top left, is be Mikey G, and Mikey G, you're in luck because I came across something for you yesterday as I was cleaning off the desk, or trying to at least. It's the Paul O'Neill, no picture or anything on front error card. Paul O'Neill back, so I'll send that to you with this break. The top left is going to go to Mikey G. Let's see if we can find a Jeter. And as I remember last time, Jeter came out of one of the first packs, if not the first pack that I opened up, and kind of ruined the entire break, as I recall. So Pinnacle in 92-93, they definitely would put about 4 different players on each pack. You have Cal Eldred, Deion Sanders, Sheffield, Dave Fleming, Larry Walker, so more than 4 this year. And Mikey G in the house says, hey, John, let's see Pee-wee for Jeter luck. Abso-freaking-lutely. We definitely need Pee-wee to wish us that luck to pull this Jeter. And his emphysema is definitely clearing up. I'm pretty excited for him, although he's still sneaking over to the neighbor's house for late night smokes. I'm hoping these aren't bricked, but you never know. The box of Classic I bought off of Bronson was not bricked. These feel like they might be. If they are, we'll probably make it a personal rip, and that will be the end of it, because 93 Pinnacle black borders, they're pretty tough. But cards in this area, you kind of have to really be careful with, because you just never know. And I mean, there's stickiness, but I don't really see any paper loss so far, which is pretty awesome. We have Krusty in the house too, with the sticker. It says My Hero. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Krusty, welcome. Good of you to join us. As always, pleasure to have you here. Jeff Reardon. So it's going to be a long rip tonight. We're going to see lots of cringy names like Billy Brewer, which I don't remember much about Billy Brewer, but if you're a Royals fan like C&M Collectibles, you probably will remember that name till the end of time. Freddie Benavides. Alex Paquillo, what's happening, man? Thank you guys all for hanging in there as we get this started. Kevin Young. 93 rookie prospects. Kevin Young's true rookie was a 92 Fleer update. There's a Paul Molitor. It's going to be a long rip tonight, but I'm just very happy there's no paper loss. So, other notable rookies, Shannon Stewart in Series 2, also Jason Kendall. And there is a sweet Lou Whitaker in the Idols subset card. You have Mike Greenwell on the cover here, along with Dave Concepcion. Looks rather high in that photo. Kimmy Cards in the house. Paul L. pushing buttons and everybody else. There's Danny Gladden's glorious mullet flapping in the freaking wind. Billy Swift, and there's Nick West with the Carmen emoji. Nick West sent me an amazing custom book. If you haven't watched the Mail Day video, then you definitely need to after this one ends. It is epic. Alan Trammell, Brian McRae, and the last card is going to be George Bell. Ends that freaking pack. I forget, was it Jeter in the second pack last time? I honestly cannot remember. They also made the jumbo packs of these called Super Packs. We got Scotty Arms in the house, John Smiley wearing his Reds attire, which is so weird to see that, to me, at least. Steve Reed of Prospects. We got Brian Smith in the house. Push Butts is awesome. Mail Day, I just watched it. It was definitely amazing stuff. 44-4, killed it with that package. And the riddle's pretty crazy. Try and see if you can solve that. Again, you have several weeks to come up with an answer to win those 10 Upper Deck packs. If you can't, I don't know, if there's no answer in about a week or so, I will release the next part of the riddle or hint. There's an Eckersley in 93 and 1975. Brian Charles is some of nice looking cards. They definitely are. They're a lot like 92 as far as the design goes. There are minor differences, but basic. Hard to get high grades, obviously, because of the black border. Zane Smith. And there is Zane in all his hideous glory with a sunglass tan line, giving Dave Smith a run for his money. Bob Scanlon, Randy Velarde, Arthur Rhodes, Tapity, and the last card of the pack, Marquise Grissom. Paul says, wait, there's more than one part of this riddle that has to be translated. You know what? There's really, that is the riddle, but there is something that will help out with it. If no one figures that out, then I will release that here soon. He did this at Antique Alley. I actually picked this up off of Bronson. He posted it on a Facebook vintage wax page, and I grabbed it off of there. Mike Stain, Greg Maddox shows up. 44-4 went full Oak Island on us. Oh, it's glorious. And you might remember the last time, the B.J. Wallace incident. I don't think Corey's in here. Pretty sure he abandoned us once again. Lee Tinsley. Kind of a cringy name. I'm pretty sure I was pumped on him at one point in life, back around 93. And I cannot believe that there was no paper loss on these. Pete Smith, Brett Barbary, and Kevin Rogers, rookie prospects. Lonnie Smith, his kind of short stint with the Buccos. Sid Fernandez, Chris Roberts, rookie card. Chris Hammond. Paul also remember the B.J. Wallace incident well. Yeah, so basically there's a B.J. Wallace rookie in Corey's stack, and as I was sifting, I was like, oh, it's definitely Derek Jeter, because it kind of looks the same on the side of the card. It ended up being B.J. Wallace, and he was bummed out, but he thought it was hilarious at the same time. Mark Lewis, Aguilera, and Omar Oliveros ends that pack. As we slowly trudge through 93 Pinnacle, unbricking everything. But could always be worse. But very nice design, nice packs in general. And like I said, box these are relatively cheap now. Series 1, obviously, probably about half the price of Series 2 because the lack of Jeter rookie in it, but very affordable for most people. Warren D, what's that, man? So we got some duplicates here. David Cohn. Tom Kramer, almost looking a lot like Tom Hankey. Did I ever watch the Goonies? You know what, Tom? I definitely did. I watched the Goonies, and I feel like I need to go back and rewatch it. But I did finally see it. Derek Wallace, Greg Swindell. Krusty says, thanks for the earlier video for us old farts. Well, I saw your comment, Krusty, and I took that into consideration today. And what time did I release that video? 7:45? Just exactly as you had requested. David Cohn. There's a hawk for Corey whenever he wakes up and watches this at like 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. Aguilera again, some repeats. Ever try opening Emotion? You know what? I've opened both Emotion boxes, 95 and 96. I actually just picked up a box of 95 recently. I don't know if we will open it or not. Todd Stottlemyre ends that pack. Telling us that the Pee Wee candle should be lit every first of the month and surrounded by lit every first of the month and surrounded by the X-Files trifecta to summon the gnome on front. That's a glorious idea. Paul also remember the Bernard Gilkey Joy card from Emotion? Paul, I do remember that. You would also remember the Bernard Gilkey jersey that I bought and sent to Jonathan H. And then I think Jonathan H sent it to my brother for a fan mail Friday. Brian Spin in the house has cleaned the poop stain off Pee Wee's forehead font. Is there a poop stain on there? I guess there is, huh? Let me go back and look at this. Yeah, I guess Pee Wee does have a poop stain up there. I wasn't sure if that was a poop stain or just like tar from smoking so many cigarettes. Sounding better by the moment. And then Eric sent it to Donald Blondell. Did he really? So that Bernard Gilkey jersey. So I bought this. Jonathan H., I forget what it was exactly, but everyone used to hound me. I did not like Bernard Gilkey, so everyone was sending me his stuff. And there was something about Jonathan H. and Bernard Gilkey, so I bought I don't know, it was like a youth jersey off of eBay. It was like a weird size. Super weird. It was like a small, but it was like real wide. And I sent it to Jonathan H. He was pissed. And they took it and he sent it to my brother. And my brother, I guess, apparently sent it to Donald Blondell. Why the hell would you send it to him? I don't feel like he had no affiliation with Bernard Gilkey or never said a word about him. But Paul says, I asked Eric about 2 years ago, and that's what he said. I'll have to ask him about that. Oh, glorious. Mike Soja, the Duke says, what is the hit in this? We're looking for Jeter rookie. Dan Serafini, typically about one per box. At least the last one I opened, I found one, but it seems to be about the odds. Craig Rebeck looks like some sort of creepy floating, I don't even know, troll in that photo. Very odd shot of Craig Rebeck. Well, then, Jeter around the house, if I solve the riddle, can I trade packs for a date with Carmen and a Shaq Pepsi? I think we could arrange that as long as Carmen agrees to it, and as long as you are accompanied by Carmen's bodyguard, Assy McGee. But only if they agree to it. But I do have the Shaq Pepsi here for you. This was purchased by Joseph C. a while ago. Long ago. The dirty Shaq Pepsi from 1993 that I threatened to drink all the time if I somehow pulled the Frank Thomas no name on front. I will most definitely chug the entire thing, and I will love every second of it. There's Rod Beck and Kurt Schilling. Ends that pack. No sign of Jeter yet in the first stack, which has me anxious. 4 packs remain, and this is going to be probably a 3-hour rip at the rate we are moving. It's definitely an early card. Trevor Hoffman, his second year. That Shaq Pepsi survived the nuclear holocaust from Skynet. Jose, what's that, man? Tim Cruz, there's Al Martin. As a kid, that was definitely in a top loader. You better believe it. Daryl Boston. You have some expansion cards on here. Rob Nen, we used to hate him, as I've told the story many times about that. Wilson Alvarez, Jeff Schmidt, rookie card. Kevin, what's happening, man? That Pepsi used to be clear. Jeff Perry, Carlton Fisk shows up. Leo Gomez and Bill Wegman. Still cannot forget about the Bill Wegman, hologram insert from 92 per deck. I'm not sure why that exists, but there's Hojo, Jerry Brown, and John Habian ends that pack. 3 remain. And let's find a Jeter in here tucked away. Like I said, they're very affordable. You usually get them for about 20 bucks. If you go on eBay, probably even cheaper than that, but again, it all involves centering, condition, and everything else. Denny Jackson, Jeff Conine, rookie prospects. Jeff Conine rookies were in 91 releases. Greg Colbrin, and here is that BJ Wallace, looking super pissed off and probably going to give Corey a bad flashback once he sees that. I missed the Expos. I need to bring them back. Dale Murphy, Drabeck. Very happy and not so groggy, like he's staying up all night prank calling people like myself, which is what happened to me in a dream. several months back. And I wish it would happen again so I could tell you more about Drabeck's drunken phone calls. Devereaux, Tom Browning, Mark Whitten, and Luis Gonzalez ends that pack. They're bricked, but they're not. There's no paper loss, so it's not bad. There's Baerga on top of this pack, and Paul L. quoting me now. Kevin Brown and David. Actually, I thought that was David Need for a second. Andy Ashby, and it looks like we have a Kendall rookie in this pack. Ashby, Kent Bottenfield, was real obsessed with Kent Bottenfield there around like 92, 93 era. For whatever reason, pretty sure I had him on my Tony La Russa 2 team. Alex Cole. Wade Boggs shows up. I think as a kid, I never understood why the Expos logo was a cursive ELB. Now you can't see it either. That's very true. Jason Kendall. And Guzman. Brett Butler. Would have been stoked on that Kendall as a kid. Save me that Baerga label. Jose Cuendo, Pete Shurik, Montgomery, Dave Justice, and Kevin Brown ends that pack. You need that Baerga wrapper, Warren. I will try and put that aside for you. If I can find it somewhere. Just threw it on the floor, but I will dig it up. And Larry Walker pack is the last one. How I feel about the Pirates this year? I mean, I try to always remain hopeful. O'Neal Cruz off to a hot start. And, I feel like their pitching staff is probably going to make a turnaround. I mean, at least I hope so. I wasn't too pumped on them signing Domingo. Thought that was kind of lame. I wish they would have signed Trevor Bauer instead. I wish somebody would sign Trevor Bauer. Outlighter, I saw the Yankees are playing, or he's actually be pitching for the Mexican team. The Yankees are playing here coming up here pretty soon. What is that? Is that this week? Next week? Scott Fletcher. And another Idols card. So we have Greg Jeffries and Ron Say, number 480. Pirates fans like Padres fans, always hopeful, but all too ready to disappoint. Yeah, I don't get my hopes up too much for the Buccos these days. Dan Berryhill, my brother and I did not like him as kids. I don't know why. Pat Mahomes and Ray Sanchez ends that stack. So no Derek Jeter in Mikey G's stack, which the top left, that's where he came from last time. But Mikey G will at least have a Paul O'Neill error card for his Paul O'Neill PC. We'll put this stack up to the side and bring out Raphael PED Marrow. I missed Three Rivers as well. So the next one is going to go to, and I can't see these, just so you know. The next stack will do the top right next. And it's going to be Nick West, the top right. The next 9 packs go to Nick. Let's push this bulbous box up to the side and struggle through another bricked up stack. And of course, always taking suggestions for future rips. Bryce says Saul Skeen strike out Jackson Holiday with a nice slider. Yeah, that was pretty wild. I know Skeens is very hopeful as well of the Buccos this year. These are definitely a little sticky. JT Snow, as a kid, that was definitely a hot card back in '93. I feel like Beckett had that listed for around $2 or $250. So it was definitely in a top loader. Kevin Mitchell. Yeah, Paul Skeens throws what? About 102? Mike Moeller. Tim Costo. Rookie prospects. McDowell. Jeff Blauser. Plezak. Doug Drabeck. And there it is. Junior rookie card shows up. Nick West. You got it. Very sick. This one does have a little bit of a white corner, as you can see there, which is kind of a common thing with this release. But the first Jeter rookie shows up in the top right stack. Centering on it's not too bad. It's a little bit off left to right, but there's the back side of the Jeter rookie. You see some chipping along the edges, but again, kind of pretty natural with 93 Pinnacle due to that damn black border, but it was so sleek back then. So the first Jeter shows up early on. A nice pull nonetheless. You're not guaranteed one in every box. There's Jim Tomei, kind of early on in his career, before he really beefed up. Mark Lemke and Carl Willis. I'm sorry, Nick, that's probably not one you would submit. I mean, maybe you would, but a little bit of a white corner there. Nice pull nonetheless, though. And let's see if we can find another one. And get very, very greedy. David comes it off. Tom Kramer once again. And stickiness. Should bring out the hairdryer. Paul L., what do you think we should bring out the hairdryer or what? Mike Tremblay, it's kind of a weird shot there. Not really sure exactly what's going on, but I don't know why they used that one instead of one of just him winding up, maybe. Charlie Huff, older than time itself. Paul L. is pumped on that. Robbie Thompson, we have another Idols card coming up. Take Dave Winfield on this one. Winfield and Alex Arias. Interesting choice of players on that one, in my opinion. Phillips, Brian Hunter once again, Stottlemyre. Ozzie Smith shows up for the first time. Nick West says, don't have one. That's pretty awesome, then. I'm glad that I could pull you one at the very least. Even if it's not in perfect condition. Farlow's pack pull equal PSA 10. He's definitely not wrong. We have heard that more than once, and now it is a life motto. We got Barry in the house. What's going on, man? And 44-4 also in here. At a TPIA Pee Wee Herman candle sitting not far off. Mess of Things in the House also said this filled so quickly. Definitely sold out in probably about a minute or less. They're starting Hitchcock, Bo Jackson. Robbie Thompson's name I haven't heard since 1993. It's not a name that we say too often. Jody Reed. And hoping to find some inserts in here, like the Brett Nolan Ryan ones. I don't think I've ever seen those before. Got, it looks like a Denny Tartable and Jose Tartable, his father. That's an interesting card. I don't know if I've ever seen that one before. Dave Stewart, Radinsky. And Scott Radinsky, actually, I just found this out recently, the singer of some punk bands. He's the singer of Pulley, which I have some friends that used to be really into Pulley. And I had no idea that Scott Radinsky was the vocalist, lead singer for quite a few bands that were pretty popular at one point. Popular in that scene. Shadi Curtis from Tops of Jailbreak, Earl Hershiser. Royce Clayton, Brian Williams, and Chuck McElroy ends that pack. And there were 6 left in the top right. The Jeter coming out relatively early. I think we all owe it all to the sighting of Pee-wee. Rob now once again, Rick Sutcliffe, Hitchcock. Yeah, it's tough to pick out different boxes for rips because you don't want to get boxes that are stuck together like this. It's very tough to avoid them, though, if you're in the 90s, early 2000s. It's kind of taking a chance, and a lot of those boxes can be very expensive. So the last thing you want to do is buy a $300 box or $400 box and have it be bricked up. Michael Tucker rookie card was a hot one back in the day. There's Eckersley. Once again, we saw that one earlier. Winfield, who at one point owned, 18 or 19 Burger Kings. We haven't talked about that in a while. These cards give off a Tupperware burp vibe. There's Derek May. Hojo once again. Paul L. says Tim Spoonie Barger. I want to say I have something regarding Tim Spoonie Barger sitting right next to me right now that I came across yesterday. I always have something related sitting next to me at all times. Jerry Brown, Chad Kurz once again, and Earl Hershiser ends that pack in the books with 5 left, the top right. Bo don't know bricking. Yeah, they're bricked up, but we're not seeing any paper loss, fortunately. There's Graham Lloyd. Frankabolic. I don't remember that card or that name, really, ever. Billy Kruger, Bransky. Tyler Green. Got Chaos in the house. And Paul L., your night has come true. We have found Orestes Destrade, a name that we hated as kids. We could not stand him when he played for the Buccos. But he is... is a TPIA legend these days. Paul L is pumped on that spotting. We now have a Ripken and Now and Then. It's definitely a cool one. Jim Gott shows up. Not as good as Jim Gott's sidelines from 92 Pinnacle, where he's, I think, doing some sort of karate kick. Rick Helling, rookie card. Vince is pumped on that guy. Juan Guzman. The second year Juan Guzman. That was one I probably would have put in a top loader back then. Juan Guzman rookies were all the craze around this time. Lewis Mercedes, Keith Miller, Astachio, and this is an interesting card also. And a very interesting photo to humiliate him, which seemed to work pretty well, because I don't think I've said his name or really thought about him in many, many years. 4 packs remain for Nick West. 1 Jeter in the books. And let's get it started. Doug DeCenzo, Greg Gore. Fake name. Thunder Sports, what's going on, man? There's Tom Hankey. Been seeing too much of the imposter Hankey tonight. Let's find some nice base cards in here. At least Barry Bonds shows up. Dave Winfield. I got a Wakefield in here as well. It's pretty awesome. That would have been one that I would be stoked on back then. Raphael Belliard, a name that I was never really too fond of. Got Dale Murphy. Is that Jeff Conine? Murphy and Conine together. Number 479. Brent Maine. Mark Guthrie. So we're seeing some new faces at least in here. Wohlers, Kenny Rogers, Thomas Howard, and Wakefield. Wakefield rookies were in the update traded sets of 92. But I remember Pack pulling some of his 93 cards, and it was like Christmas on those days. So Sheffield, Fleming, and Kruk. We will choose Kruk next. Third to last pack. Wegman to greet us in the back. Charlie Huff. Alan Embry, rookie card. Never forget when someone sent 36.92 Wakefield card. Was it 36? I found those in a dollar box recently. It looks like we got a Brett tribute card in here. Pretty sick. If I can get to it. Through all the Elmer's glued cards. Alan Embry, Tim Cruz, Al Martin, prospect. And check this out. If we can get to it. There is a Brett insert. The first one shows up. I forget what the odds are on these tribute cards, but again, I don't remember pulling them last time. Ben Revere, get the hell off of this card. That's the worst. I don't want to crack it, because if you crack it, you will more than likely have paper loss. I'm just probably gonna leave that alone. I don't want to mess the corners up, and they're literally flush together. I can't get in that crack whatsoever. All right, I'm not gonna try it. But a Brett tribute card. And freaking Ben Rivera. I rue the day you were born, Ben Rivera, because I wanted to see the back of that card. But I think it's a 10-card set. It's Nolan Ryan, George Brett, Sean Lowe, Ozzie Smith, Felix Fermin, Archie, Gomez, and Wegman. Ends that pack. 2 remain for Nick West. So I've been thinking about it, and let me know your thoughts on this, you guys, because I'm curious. What are your thoughts on opening some Topps Big? It's crazy. I've been looking at boxes recently, and some of those Topps Big Series 3 boxes have gone up decently high. And some of the values are pretty high. If you look at PSA 10 Randy Johnson, 89 Topps Big, which is in Series 3, I think they're like, are they $1,000? Close to $1,000. And raw, they're around $20, which is nuts. I never realized that they would be that much money. But even 90 Topps Big Series 3 was kind of a limited release. Those boxes are pretty expensive. But 89, you got Smoltz, rookie in Series 3, and you got Johnson. Chuck Carr, was stoked on him back then. Did I sell that 5-foot TMNT? I did sell that recently. Bronson says, go for it. 44 says, I sent you a box a while ago with the coins. You definitely did. It's sitting next to me right now. But as a kid, I liked Topps Big. For whatever reason, they appealed to me. And I think most kids back then, and then once you grew up, you're like, ah, damn, I hate those things. And then once you get older than that, you're like, oh, those are some good memories opening those up. And I've never opened a box on here before, so I was like, should we do that? people want to do that. There's Fisk. But kind of high stakes there. The Johnson. I mean, I think I can get a box on eBay right now for about $50, which isn't terrible. But that's the lowest one on there. The rest are like, I think, much higher than that. Eric Davis for Damon. Benji Grigsby. Kind of a cringe-worthy name. Mr. Reese says, I've got a sealed box of each. Series 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, the Series 3, for whatever reason, they're a little more expensive. Probably, I guess the production numbers weren't as much as the first two series. But the Johnson in '89, I was going to do a personal rip of it before, but I have the Johnson, I have the Smoltz, my rookie boxes, so I don't really need them. But it would be fun to open a box of those just for the hell of it and try to pull the Johnson. Like I said, high PSA grades would definitely make it worth it if you got something like that. James Arnold says, you want to buy my baseball cards? I'll give you a good deal. You know, I always buy collections. It just depends on what they are. If they would appeal to this group on here, or if there are cards that I would need for my PC. You can always send me an email or even reach out on Messenger. I don't really see all the messages on Messenger because I have a ton of them. But, yeah, do that, and I can take a look at it. Carlos Garcia, new face there. We got Message Thing says, I read that if you cultivate a colony of silverfish and store your box with them for 8 weeks, the scales from their winds will work through and, and release the cards. That is a wild theory that you have me making, or you are making me want to try. I was going to say that a little bit ago. I was thinking of different ways to unbrick cards if that were to be the case tonight, which it is, obviously. There's Benji Gill for Paul L. There's definitely ways I have not tried. You know, we kind of half-assed that unbricking video a little bit there. We got several ideas, tried them out. But there's definitely more things you could do. We didn't try the oven. Try putting cards in the oven for, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes. See if that unbricks them and gets rid of the moisture. The silverfish idea. Millworms, they probably just eat the entire card. But check out Mess of Things channel. If Corey, I don't think he's in here. So Paul L. or Tango, please post a link to a Mess of Things. And if you're not subscribed to him, make sure that you check his channel out. Go over there and give him a subscribe. Check out his minute rips that he does. Always interesting things being pulled there and interesting things being opened. There's Scott Cooper, Steve Sachs, and Anthony Young. Tango got the link. Appreciate you, Tango. Nick West stack in the books. We have a Jeter rookie that came out of the box so far, and we are just halfway through at 32 minutes. So we might as well just make it an all-nighter and just pull out a case of 88 Donruss and just keep it going. A Mess of Things says, and now you read that too. It is a pleasure to be here reading the super chats about Silverfish and hanging out with all you guys. Jason W. is next. And this head's creeping me out. I feel like I need to get rid of that. And I'm going to now that we have picked the second to last participants. Got so many weird things sitting next to me. I have a naked ass right here with a gun strapped to him, a Michael Jordan head, a Shaq Pepsi. We have the Golden Idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's all kinds of trinkets and artifacts, but I don't know if any of them can really ever compare to this picture of the royal family. Or, even better, the levitating Mike Walkton, forever enshrined inside of the snow globe, floating. Travis Dottie says, the secret to unbreaking cards is to make a G.I. Joe video right after eating Taco Bell with Carmen. Travis D., what is happening, man? That is the secret to life right there, and you're making me want to go to Taco Bell tonight. And I feel like I'm going to have to. Paul L. is pumped on that sighting of Mike Walkton, and there is a link to Travis's channel. Thank you, Tango, for posting that. Please subscribe to him and check out his videos. There's Mike Stanley, a little bit of a ding on that one. Butch Henry. Yeah, we need to get Carmen in the toy room. That's the only thing that's kind of sucks is that I've shifted places in my house, and now Carmen is in the basement, and I'm up here. So we gotta find a place to hang her somewhere. I guess we're just gonna hang her on the freaking wall. Jeff Reardon, Billy Brewer once again. I just said Butch Husky for a second. We haven't seen Butch Husky in a while. Todd Steverson. Paul O'Neill from Mikey G. It is definitely a long-distance relationship. Jack Morris shows up. Jose Mesa. Filter the basement to see Carmen. Definitely should do that. Lee Smith. I haven't showed you guys the basement in a while. It's coming along quite nicely. Tommy Green and Bruce Hurts. We're seeing some different faces in here. Dustin says, just got here from Mailbag Monday. McGruff book was epic. That book was absolutely epic. If you have not seen the custom Scruff McGruff book that Nick West had made for me, definitely check that out after this video. It was pretty freaking insane and unexpected. This is one of Jason's first rips, I feel like, in a while. More with a messed up grill back in the day. He definitely looked very dorky in that photo. 1977. Palmieri looks like the creepy uncle at Thanksgiving. The uncle that drinks one too many. Paul says that Scruff McGruff book belongs on the mantle to woo the ladies. You're definitely right about that one. Harold Reynolds, Ricky Gutierrez, Craig Lefferts. I'll be happy to ice my hands after this rip. Mike Stanton. Yes, I think next Turn Back the Clock Tuesday, we're definitely going to have to open something that is just not going to be bricked up. There's a Puckett. First time seeing that in the whole box. Derek Wallace once again. Greg Swindell, one of the OG omens here. Zane Smith is coming up, it looks like. There he is. Alex Fernandez. John Wetland. And there are those hideous sunglass tan lines yet again. And Randy Velarde ends that pack. 2 down. Third stack in. We find 2 Jeter rookies in here. Would be pretty freaking awesome. I was talking to Bronson before the stream started about how 93 SP boxes at one point were $18,000, which is nuts. Shirley Davis, Randy Myers, Matt Walbeck, and Mean Mug, Matt Whiteside, and Pete Janicki. I used to hate that car as a kid, I remember. Have not seen it, I think, since 1993. Hippolito shows up along Wade Boggs. Blankenship. I know Deck Jordan Hunt would be sweet. Tango's been asking for a 91 per deck Jordan Hunt for a long time. We may have to do that. Should we do that for a... Should we do that for a break? I don't know if I've ever actually did a break on 91 per deck. Maybe for Needle and Wax Stack. I know I have a box of Find the Hank and a box of Find the Nolan. Kyle Avitt and Tim Naring. And set back. Paul L. demanding 94 Flair. You know, I think I said that before, Paul. I saw a box of 94 Flair at a card show recently, and I thought it was overpriced. It was above eBay comps. But we're going to have to open 94 Flair soon because Paul L. has been demanding that for literally 4 years now. So I feel like we got to open one and find John Hudek rookie. There's a way of the future. Insert. You tell me $89 Griffey is not at least 1 per box? I guarantee it's not 1 per box because I've opened boxes that have not pulled it, and I know other people that have too. So not really guaranteed. I also know people that have opened 1 box and pulled 3. Just all depends. Richie Lewis, Jefferson. Yeah, I've opened a lot of boxes of that in my life, but I think I opened a box $89 Donruss. It's been a couple of years. I know the last one I opened, we did not see a Griffey out of there. Paul Molitor. Shannon Stewart shows up once again. James Reynolds, absolutely, man. Yeah, send me an email. I can't guarantee I'd be interested, but we could definitely discuss it, though. There's that Mike Greenwell once again. Jeff King. Donovan Osborne. Jean Burkett. Kim Baptiste. Harkey and Olin ends that pack. I pulled a Griffey, the 90 Topps box I just opened. Yeah, I was talking about that recently, too, about the 90 Topps Griffey. At one point, the PSA 10s were like $1,000. And they have come way down. A lot of stuff has come down. And it's kind of weird because, a lot of premium stuff has dropped off a lot, and then a lot of the junkier stuff has gone up. I remember going to flea markets. You could find 92 per deck boxes for $10. You could find 88 Fleer boxes for $5, and so on and so forth. Now they're about 5 times that, typically. And a lot of the more premium stuff has come down. $89. Griffey should be worth more. Yeah, it's not worth a whole lot just because there's so many of them out there. There's still millions of that card that they printed. So same thing with that entire era and all the cards in that era from like 87 up through 90. I don't really like to consider 93 junk wax era. I guess it depends on what release. Like 93 SP is definitely not junk wax. And in all my travels and years of collecting, I don't really see a whole lot of 93 stuff in junk wax collections. I see a lot of, 88 through 92 more than I see anything else. Definitely 1990, probably more than anything. 90 Donruss and 91 Donruss and stuff like that. 88 tops, 89 tops. But yeah, Griffey, I remember going to the National and you could buy Griffey Donruss rookies for $1 a piece a few years ago. Pretty crazy. And that's kind of how like a lot of those cards are. Barry Bonds rookies, Bo Jackson rookies. A lot of times you could buy those for $1 a piece. I guess it depends on where you go, but 4 packs left. We find one more Jeter in here. We got Donnie Baseball coming up, and I actually found what I think is a Don Mattingly autograph in the collection I bought recently. I'm not sure if I showed it or not. I may have showed it in the video, but it was a vintage collection. The last one I bought, Junior Felix. TPIA University accredited. There's Trevor Hoffman rookie prospects. Not a rookie, but it's a second-year card. First Pinnacle, if you will. Phil Plantier, Doug Jones, and that commendable handlebar mustache. Pauls, I've had to explain several times to my dad while Randy Johnson, John Smoltz, Craig Biggio rookies, which, while still cool cards, aren't worth much at all. Yeah, they're not worth anything, really. I've had that conversation with people recently. So I don't think I've talked to you guys about this, but there's a guy that called me recently. Said he had cards from his childhood that he wanted to get rid of. There's Donnie Baseball. And there's a big cat, as Corey insists on calling him. But he probably had, like, I don't know, the pictures he sent me that were, I don't know, the pictures were super ghetto. They look like they were taken on a freaking, like, track phone from 2005. They were, like, super dark, and they were taken on, like, a green bedspread. I'm like, what is this? Some sort of, like, flop house? But he's like, he called me first, and then I was like, all right, send me some pictures. It sounds like you have a lot of junk wax era stuff, which I'll still buy it, but, like, it's not worth what you think it is. And, a lot of people are like, I got Griffey rookies, and then they start self-grading them. They're like, I've had this in a case since I was a kid. It will definitely grade a 10. I'm like, whoa. As soon as people say that, it will definitely grade a 10, I instantly am just like, all right, how quick can I get off the phone without, like, offending this person? Because I know that you and I will never, see eye to eye on what your cards are worth. So I was like, send me some pictures and we'll see what you got. And his Griffey rookies ended up being second-year cards, which I kind of had a feeling they were. His Gem Mint Bo Jacksons were like 91 tops and I think like 90 Fleer. And I think there were some urine-stained top loaders in the photo from what I can make out. And it was a lot of 10-cent box cards. It was stuff that I have literally thousands upon thousands of that I usually just put into lots and then I sell on here primarily. But a lot of them are quarter box cards and stuff of that nature, base cards from the 90s. And he got real pissed that I wasn't interested in buying his stuff. He was real mad about it. Chris Carter, Wade Boggs is Jason Kendall rookie again, but I was like, just like, out of curiosity, what do you want for this stuff, man? Like, just throw your crazy, number out there. Just, I could use a good laugh right now. This is probably one of these people that lists stuff on OfferUp, lists the common card on OfferUp for $5,000 because they looked it up on the Collects app, and the Collects app told him it was worth $5,000. Or somebody on eBay has a Jim Abbott 90 tops listed for $10,000. Well, this person has that Jim Abbott, and now they're freaking rich. And then when you tell them that Jim Abbott's worth 5 cents, they get real pissed at you and think that you're some kind of snake oil salesman. It's not the case. That guy got real pissed about that. I'm like, all right, man, well, I'm not interested. I was like, good luck to you. Like, I hope you get a bunch of money for these, dude, but I guarantee you're not going to get anything for them because, like, in order for me to make some sort of profit off that, like, I probably couldn't give you more than $5. Like, honestly. That would be max. There's no good rookie cards in there. There's just nothing that sticks out that people really want to collect. You just have a stack of base cards. RCA says if you get junk wax to gem, I mean, if you do, it just depends on what it is. Like if you have a Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck and a PSA 10, although they've come down in price, you definitely have a pretty petty on your hands, and not even necessarily rookies. I mean, like a second year Griffey Gold Cup, you get that in a PSA 10, then you're gonna have a few $100s on your hands. At one point, it was 1,000, but now it's a couple $100, a few hundred maybe, at most. But in order to gem those, it's freaking next to impossible. And if you look at the pop numbers on those, it's very, very low. That's why they're worth so much money. But if you know what you're doing as far as looking over your cards, then you might have a better chance. But it's luck of the draw. I mean, PSA has how many people working for them? All it takes is one person to come in hungover, pissed off, whatever it is, and and they just give you some crappy grades. So it's kind of I don't know, a matter of luck. I think more so of anything. Bonds, Gomez. There's cards that I've seen that should be tens that are like sevens or eights. There's cards that should be sevens that are tens. Well, I think we've all seen it. Derek May, Hojo, and Jerry Brown. Crushes my bubble got burst in 92 when Card Shop guy offered me $10 for Frank Thomas Leaf rookie. Yeah, that's crazy in 92 because I feel like it was definitely worth a lot more back then. Last pack for Jason W. No sign of Jeter in this stack. One more to go after this. The BCCG that gives cards with flat edges 10s. You gotta love BCCG. I was pissed and I found chicks. I think that's what happened to a lot of people. But there's funny bit in this again. Kevin Young. Rad Finds does get some pretty good cards from his buys, but nothing crazy. And a lot of cards are pretty roasted condition. Yeah, I mean, that's what it kind of sucks about Shop Goodwill, which is where he gets pretty much all of his stuff. I see cards like that all the time too. There's jostling around boxes. And more so, I buy stuff like that if I see a couple of gems in there. And by gems, I mean like a couple cards that are like stick out, early 80s Nolan Rhines or whatever it may be, rookies. And then I'm like, okay, I'll take a crack at this just for the fun of going through it. You never know, but I do see boxes like that quite often where their cards are just tossed in a shoebox. And it's like people want a lot of money for them. I did a video over the weekend recap, revisiting that antique mall where I found that Jeter Murphy for $8. Dan Serafini, first time seeing that, I think, in this rip. But there was a shoebox in there that just had a bunch of cards tossed in it from the early 90s. And it said that there was an autograph in there on the box price sticker. So, one random autograph, so it must not have been in the top loader. It was just thrown in there with no penny sleeve. $30 for that. If it was $5, I'd probably buy the box for the hell of it and just be like, hey, maybe I can find something neat out of here. Or, go through them with you guys. But for 30, it's you're probably not making your $30 back or coming close to it, something like that. Jason W in the books. That leaves us with Alton, the last stack in 93 Pinnacle. The last 9 packs of this eternal rip that seems to be timeless. Make a rad deck out of laminated Moises Alou cards. That would be sick. Paul said, rather buy an 89 Donruss Ken Hill for $30. Well, I got one right here, Paul L. If you need one. This is on standby, and it still has the official TPIA sticker on it. Card will go down in infamy for all eternity. Last stack for Alton. Let's find another Jeter in here. I said, I'd be surprised we find more than one in a box, but we found some of those other prospects a couple times, so you never know. Sutcliffe. Once again, there's Bo Jackson showing up for Jeff Parrott. That's the first time seeing him in this box. Fisk, that's a 10, the Ken Hill rookie. People are like, this guy is a real con man. He's got a Ken Hill for $30. There's an inside joke behind that. B.J. Wallace once again shows up. Why couldn't you be Derek Jeter? Is what B.J. Wallace's mom told him one morning. Royce Clayton, Brian Williams, and Chuck McElroy ends the first pack, the last stack in the books for Alton. And tomorrow night will be an auction, so the first one in a while. So I'm looking forward to all kind of shenanigans during that. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to have for sale yet. I think I'm going to get a bunch of 90s inserts and stuff. Probably have some player lots and different random knickknacks. There's a bunch of stuff I have sitting next to me that doesn't really have a purpose in my collection. So like something like this will probably sell at 09 and 10 Ovation Hockey in a collection I bought a little while back. It's a tin with 50 cards inside of it. I think there might be some okay rookies in there. Probably sell that off and I don't know, a whole bunch of other things. Maybe if you stick around long enough, we'll even raffle off this Rafael Palmeiro head that is, really can't put a value or a price on the head of Rafael Palmeiro. There's Bob Welch, Daryl Sherman. Lindsay Clark says car emblems. Well, if you want car emblems, you've come to the right place because I have a whole freaking box of them sitting right next to me. And they may go up for auction tomorrow night. I haven't decided yet, but I've kind of developed a connection and a bond with these rusty and dirty old car emblems. I haven't had a tetanus shot in a long time either, so probably kind of risky digging in this box full of sharp objects, but may have that one up for grabs tomorrow night if we're feeling sassy, which usually we are. Jack Armstrong, Pete Incaviglia, and what do we have here? Is that Dykstra? Dykstra and Kenny Stabler, or as Corey calls him, Ken Stabler. NFL legend Kenny Stabler. Wilson Alvarez, Jeff Schmidt shows up yet again. Rod Beck. There is Kurt Schilling, Merker Avery, and Scott Cooper ends that pack in the books. But as childhood hero Kenny Stabler, that's right, it definitely is your dad's childhood hero. I always forget that. I don't know if Alton's in here or not, but good luck to you, Alton. See if we can find you something in these next 6 packs that are welded together, practically. Tango's calling one more Jeter. Looks like Benji Grigsby is going to screw us out of a Jeter in this pack, but we still have many chances. Jim Tatum. RCA says Ovechkin is going to break that record. Tatum and Tony Fernandez. Surprisingly enough, the only card I could not get off of the insert was that freaking... Who was that again? I forget his name, but all the other cards came apart. That was the only one, of course, on the Brett insert. Grigsby, Greg Gagne. There is the Alex Arias, Dave Winfield once again. Robbie Thompson for Krusty. Ben Rivera, that's who it was. The Director of Records comes through with that. Wakefield once again. Mel Rojas and Jose Acuendo ends that pack. And then there were 6. Dave Fleming. Man, was I hyped on Dave Fleming as a kid. Big time. We find yet one more Jeter in these bricks. This will be the last time I ever open 93 Pinnacle. Probably. I don't think we'll ever do it again. Now found 2 Jeters out of this release. I don't know if I've ever opened 92 Pinnacle, although 92 Pinnacle wasn't that exciting. The only insert really out of regular packs is like Team 2000. I think that might be the only insert in general in 92, but I could be wrong. There's Ripken again, Jim Gott, Mark Davis, Rick Helling now shows up, robbing us of yet another Jeter. Kevin Brown, Guzman, Mercedes, and some repeats here. And that creepy and hilarious photo to end the pack outs. 5 left. Jose Offerman to greet us. Fingers crossed for another Jeter. Looks like we might have a Pedro Martinez insert in here, which is pretty sick. Scott Sanderson, Mike Lanson, we do. I've never pulled one of these cards before. So that is pretty freaking awesome. They're double-sided. One Bell Jackson, Pedro Martinez on one side, the rookie team Pinnacle. So it's like 1 per box. Kind of a tough pull. And on the back side, why the hell are the insert cards welded together with something else? Carlton Fisk, get out of here. Why is it like that? So we can't see who's on the back of here because of Carlton Fisk. And Fisk succumbs to paper loss. I guess that's why. Mike Tremblay. So really not too enthusiastic about that Mike Tremblay, but Pedro Martinez is the redeeming quality on that card. Doug Henry, Paul Sorrento, David Segui, Dwayne Ward, and Offerman ends that pack. Got a 2-sided. 4 packs left. 93 Pinnacle. We may open 99 90 Topps Big Series 3 next time. And the Larry Walker rookie's in there, Ken Griffey Jr. second year. I have a box of those, but it's kind of like beat up. The seams are busted on it, so it doesn't really, I don't really want that for my seal wax collection. Maybe buy another one down the road, but this one is a tough brick. Jeez. Jeff Brantley. Maybe Ken Hill PSA 10 bursting at the seams. It definitely is. Chili Davis, Matt Walbeck, Mike Pagliarulo doing some sort of crazy ancient African totem pole dance. Interesting card there. William McGee, Xavier Hernandez, Spike Owen shows up now. Busted seems fit for the channel. It definitely is. I think it's busted around these parts. Greg Vaughn, John Vanderwall, who I was pumped on for a while there. Joe McGrain and Bip Robertson's at pack. We make 93 or opening 93 Pinnacle a weekly tradition. We're going on 1 hour now, opening 36 packs. The fun never ends around here, especially when you have cards like Kodiak Bear looking you dead in the eyes. A Kodiak Bear rookie. Can we find one more Jeter in here? After all this work, I would hope so. Ojeda, Lewis, Jefferson, Dale Murphy, Drabeck. What makes cards stick? Is it age, climate like humidity, or something else entirely? It's definitely from moisture getting between them. So if you store a box or a case of these in your basement, and basements obviously have moisture a lot of the time, almost every time I feel like, to a degree, or a garage, an attic even, moisture is going to get inside of there, and it's going to stick between the cards, and that's what makes it stick all these years later. So that's why if you can figure out how to get the moisture to evaporate from in between them, that's why people use heat. People have used the freezer. The freezer works for some things, but not for all things. I've tried 93 per deck in the freezer for freaking, I don't know, 2 months. It didn't work. I've tried the microwave. Pretty much all of them work to an extent and with different releases. Now, 93 per deck is one of the most hardest ones I've ever feel like I've encountered in my unbricking. But again, it's a matter of how they're stored. So these were stored somewhere in a climate where moisture got inside of them. But it's the ultra varnish coating that they started putting on cards in 91. Jeffries, Ron Say again, Jeff Russell, Ron Gant, Henry Cotto. And it kind of sucks because there's a lot of boxes I'd love to open, but I don't want to take the risk on them. Like, I'd love to get like an 01 traded box. Looking for a Pool Hall Ichiro. They're very expensive. They're like $1,800, or I don't. They probably come down since then. But even 01 Series 2, you can get a hobby box of those for relatively cheap because no one is taking the freaking risk on 01. Even a factory set. I've seen people unbox a factory set of 2001 Topps, and it's literally a cinder block. You take it out of the box. Pretty wild. Is there a Ron Santo rookie for sale tomorrow? You know, Paul L., I got one sitting right next to me right now. Here is a Ron Santo rookie. Maybe it'll be for sale tomorrow. I don't know. There is one sitting right there, though. Last pack of this rip. And I can take an ice bath. We find yet one more Jeter. Yeah, hairdryer seems to work a little bit, but I wasn't going to pull the hairdryer off for this rip just because it's so noisy. But I've done it before. Lee Tinsley, Pete Smith. Can we have some last pack magics? Sean Lowe is going to screw us on a possible Jeter. Brett Barbary. Can we at least find one more insert maybe? We got, what, 2 inserts in a whole freaking box? Come on, Pinnacle. There's Terry Pendleton. Only saw that one time this rip. There's that cursed Ben Rivera card. Joe Carter. Sean Lowe looks awfully cocky about robbing us of a Jeter rookie. Arthur Rhodes. Kevin Tapani. Paul said, I translated the question. I don't know the answer. Marquise Grissom, Dan Pasqua, Portugal, and Mark Lewis ends that whole freaking break of 93 Pinnacle. So again, these box prices have come down tremendously from what they were at one point in time. If you want to try taking a risk and getting a box, they are typically at most about $100 on eBay, but I think you can find them for a little cheaper than that if you search around on there. Series 1 box is obviously cheaper, but probably won't open those again just because of the factor of them breaking. It's just, I don't know, it's a little too risky. So I'm going to move on to maybe some late 80s, early 90s stuff without the UV coating, and maybe even some 2000s. Drop me some suggestions of boxes I have not yet ripped, and I will take them into consideration. And hopefully I'll see you guys back for an auction tomorrow night, probably around like 8:15, I'm going to say. And I'm going to throw some things together, and we're going to get real freaking debaucherous and rowdy. So hopefully I'll see you in here. Thank you guys all for being here tonight, and those of you that participated, I'll see you back tomorrow night. Have a great night, guys.